Kia ora everyone, welcome to another session of Virtual Yoga Club. Today's session is called Uplifted and it is specifically designed for strength athletes, so my babes who do powerlifting, CrossFit, Olympic weightlifting, this is for you. Everything has been carefully chosen to help with the muscles and areas of the body that you will commonly use in those sports, and I hope you enjoy it. What you are going to need today is your strap, so take a minute to go and grab it if you don't have it already, but we are going to start seated on our mats today. Okay, we're going to start with a few basic seated warm-up stretches. The first thing is our spinal twist, so we're going to take a nice deep breath in, reaching the arms up. When we exhale, taking right hand to the outside of the left knee, left arm behind you, looking over that left shoulder. Coming back to center, breathing in, bring the arms up. This time taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee, right arm behind you, looking over the right shoulder. Coming back to center, bringing the arms up, breathing in, bring the arms down. We're going to head into a neck stretch, so my left hand, my fingertips are touching the mat. I'm going to reach across with my right hand and apply a gentle amount of pressure on the left side of my head. Stretching all the way down that left side. Gently releasing that, bringing the right fingertips down to the mat, reaching across with the left hand and applying that pressure on the other side just gently. Remember, we want to be really careful when it comes to our neck. And release. Okay, we're going to just move my strap out of the way, we're going to bring our legs out to a straddle, just as wide as you're comfortable with. Bringing the toes back towards the knees, so we're lengthening out the backs of the legs, breathing in, arms up. And keeping the back straight, we're just going to hinge forward from the hips ever so slightly, resting the hands on the ground in front of you. Keep the neck free, we're not rounding the shoulders, everything's nice and long. From here we're going to walk our hands over to our right leg, one hand on either side of the knee or calf, depending on how deep you are into the stretch. Eyes on the toes, just applying a gentle twist here, focusing more on that right side. over to the left side, one hand on either side of the leg, eyes on the toes. Keep pulling those toes back towards the knee. Bring those hands back to center. If you can, move them a little bit further forward than they were before, since we've been in the stretch for a little while now. If not, that's okay. Do you mind? And when you're ready, slowly coming back up to that seated position. Okay, now we're going to grab our straps. We're starting with the lower body and lying on our backs. So, using the straps targets the lower back and the glutes and the back side of our legs. So we've got the hammies, the calves, and even the feet can get a good stretch with this. So, starting with the strap around the ball of your right foot. My left leg is going to stay flat on the ground. Pulling the elbows in close. I've got a slight bend in the knee so I'm not putting stress on the joint. Okay, taking the straps in my opposite hand, so my right leg is in the air, therefore my left hand will grab the strap and gently pull the leg across the body, keeping the hips in contact with the mat, so I'm not rolling completely onto my left side. And taking the straps in my same side, right leg is in the air, straps are in the right hand, I'm opening that leg up to the side. This is getting the inside of the thigh now. To come out of it, I'm just going to gently release my grip on the strap, swing the leg out of it. Now, because I'm right next to the wall, I'm just going to turn around before I do the next side, so I don't crash into the wall. Actually remembered for once, there's a first. Okay, same deal around the ball of my left foot this time. Right leg stays nice and straight on the mat. Okay, since my left leg is in the air, I'm going to take the strap in my right hand, gently pull it across my body, keeping my hips on the ground. And taking the strap on the same side and opening that leg up out to the side. To come out of that, release the grip, swing the leg out with a stretch. And you can come back up to a seated position. Now we're going to go into our upper body with the straps. So this is going to open the chest and warm up the shoulders. Take your strap in your hands, overhand grip, wider than shoulder width apart. You may have to adjust your grip to what suits you, but basically we're going to keep our arms straight. We're going to go up and over. Breathing in as you come up, exhale as you come down. If that's too hard, take a wider grip. If that's feeling too easy, bring your hands closer together. Remember, we want to keep our elbows not locked completely, but we're not bending our arms to get through that position. Good. You need to stop. It starts to burn the shoulders a little bit. Have a wee break. And then once you've done those, you can tuck your straps to the side and we'll get into a hero pose. Our hero pose today is about stretching the quads, so we're just going to lean back. If you can, bring your hands onto the ground behind you. And to counteract that, we're going to come into a hero pose. So knees out to the side of your mat and resting. Coming back up in your own time, we're going to move into our pigeon pose. So pigeon is really good for stretching out the glutes and the hips, as well as increasing your hip mobility. So we're going to start in our plank pose. Wrists under elbows onto shoulders, tucking the toes under at the back. We're going to pick the right leg up, bring right knee to right wrist, right heel rests somewhere around the left hip. If this feels too easy, push that back leg back to enhance the stretch. If it's too hard, bring it forward. If you want to make it slightly different, you can bring your forearms down onto the ground. Okay, bringing those hands back to that starting position, tuck the toe under at the back, take that right leg back into the plank, and repeat on the left side. bringing your hands back, tucking those toes under at the back. Drop the knees down, sitting back on your heels. The next pose we're going to go into is our downward dog. This activates your overhead lifting muscles as well as increasing your shoulder mobility and stretches out the hammies and calves at the same time, so it's a really good one. We're going to start in that tabletop position again, like how we just did. So wrists under elbows, under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to tuck the toes under and push the hips up and back. If you can't get those heels on the ground, that's okay. The knees down, sitting back, shake the wrists out if you need to. We'll do one more. If you want to add an extra calf stretch, you can do a little bit of walking dog. Drop opposite heel, opposite knee. And coming down, drop the knees down, shake the wrists out. Okay, we're going to carry on with our lower body, moving into our lizard pose. Lizard is really going to open up the hits. Lizard's really going to open up the hips, warm up the back. We're going to add a T-up twist. We're going to stretch out the glutes and the hamstrings. We're going to add a runner's lunge into it as well. So we've got a few things to do within our lizard pose. So starting from this kneeling position, take your left leg and bring it in front of you. Take your hands either side of the foot. Take that back leg back to enhance the stretch. And relax. If you want to enhance the stretch even more than taking your leg back, you can bring your forearms down onto the ground. Otherwise, hands inside the foot is fine. To add our twist, I'm going to keep my right hand in the middle of my mat since my left foot is down, and then twisting across my body, reaching up to the ceiling. Coming back down, I'm going to shift my weight backwards, keeping that leg in front of me, into our runner's lunge, so stretching out the back of that front leg. Alright, let's swap sides. Bring the right foot in front, hands either side, not either side, hands on the inside. Just that back leg to suit. Okay, since our right foot is forward, left hand stays in the center of the mat. Twisting up. And pushing the weight back into that runner's lunge. Okay, coming up. Staying in this position, we'll bring our left foot up again. We're going to do a low lunge. So same sort of starting point. This time we're going to tuck the tailbone under, pushing those hips forward as we lunge and bring the arms up, eyes to the ceiling. So you should feel this one all the way down the front of that back leg. And relax, swap sides. You can repeat that as well on either side. We're just going to do one on either side today because we've got a lot to get through. Once I'm in that starting position, I'm going to tuck the tailbone under, which is pushing my hips forward, which is deepening that stretch on my bottom leg. And coming back and relax. Okay, come up to a standing position. We're going to get into our garland pose. So garland is basically a low squat position. This is going to open the hips and stretch out the back of your legs, so your calves as well. So for our garland pose, you may need to have a play with the positioning of your feet and your what kind of stance is going to work best for you. But basically we're going to come down, keeping our feet flat, into our low squat position. Keeping your back nice and straight so we're not bending forward. Dropping the hips below parallel if you can. If you want to enhance the stretch, bring your elbows to the inside of your knees, gently push them outwards. It's really going to get you right in the hips. Otherwise, keep that spine nice and long. Pick a spot in front of you to focus on, and we're going to hang out here for a bit. If you want to hold on to something in front of you, like the edge of the couch or a coffee table, that's all good if you need to keep your balance. We just want to avoid slumping forward. Keep everything nice and tall. Bring the palms in, push the elbows against the inside of your knees. You don't have to do that. If you find that you get too close to the ground in this position, what you can do is elevate your feet so that you can sink down in between. Alright, we're going to come back up. First start by lengthening out the legs, then come up from the hips. And we're going to move into a forward fold. So our forward fold is going to loosen up our lower back and our hamstrings. So bring your feet together, inside hip width. A nice deep breath, raise the arms up. Hinging forward from the hips, keeping the legs nice and straight. fingertips towards the mat. You can bring them to the back of your calves. You can hold on to your elbows and just hang, or you can reach your fingertips to the mat. You're going to come back up to standing nice and slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Your head should be the last thing to come back up. Nice. Okay, good. I'm going to stay standing for a little bit. We're going to do our dancer pose. So not only is dancer going to strengthen our quads and our hamstrings and stretch out the quads on the hips, but it's also going to create space in the chest and open that up. So if you're anything like me, you have a super tight chest, this is a surprising pose that will actually help opening that up. So if you need to have something to balance on, that is okay. Starting on the left leg, we're going to reach back and hold on to our right foot with our right hand. From here, leaning forward, pushing that foot back against the hand. You want to create some space between your hand, your arm and your leg. Pushing that hand, that foot against the hand will open up the chest. You need to get that down in place, shake it out. So I usually say when you're holding onto your foot, that gap, you're trying to make a window. So we don't want to squash it together, we want to open it up. Let's do the other side. Too many things in the way. Okay, right foot on the ground is our base. Grab the left foot, leaning forward, pushing that foot back, open up. Make that window. You should feel it in your quads, you should feel it pushing against your hand and opening up the chest. When you need to, bring it back down and relax. Again, just like the other poses, you can repeat them twice if you need to. We're going to keep moving through. So we did our forward fold. Now we're going to do a wide leg forward bend. So pick a wide stance that's comfortable for you. And we're going to keep our backs nice and straight, hinging from the hips, coming forward, reaching our hands either onto the ground in front, you can hold onto your calves, or you can reach the hands through to make it a deeper stretch. Back up, keeping that back nice and straight. Your hammies are going to do a lot of the work when we're coming up. This time we are going to do the same thing, but we're going to add a tee-up twist, just like we did with our lizard pose. This is going to stretch out your obliques, and it's also going to loosen up the lower back and increase that outer hip mobility. So I'll do a side-on stance so you can see a slightly different perspective. So take that wide stance that works for you. Hinging forward from the hips, keeping the back straight. Coming down. Okay, let's start with the right hand on the ground first. Twist up. Hold it for as long as you want to. This is just a demo. Left hand down. you can't reach your hands to the ground in your wide leg forward bend, you can always use a block or anything, any kind of support to rest your hands on if you need to. Coming back up, so I'm keeping everything straight, my legs are doing all the work. Good. Okay, just a couple more standing poses and then we'll come back down onto our mats. So we're going to do just warrior one today. We're actually going to do a variation on our arm position. We're going to do cactus arms, and this is to open the chest. So while we're doing this arm position, we're really going to think about drawing the shoulder blades back, squeezing them together and opening that chest up. Alright, so come to the back of your mat, turn your right leg slightly out to the side, pick your left leg up, bring it forward in a lunge. The distance of the lunge is totally up to you. Hips to the front. Now cactus arms are straight up like this, just because you won't be able to see me as clearly when we get into the pose. So hips to the front, bring your cactus arms up, bring your shoulder blades together, bend in that front leg. Arms down, pushing back, bring those feet together. We'll repeat it on the other side. So this time your left leg is turning out to the side, pick the right leg up, bring it forward, hips over that front leg, arms up, shoulder blades squeeze together, open the chest. Make sure your neck is still nice and free, so you don't want to be seizing up. Shoulder blades back and down. You need to shake it out. If this is burning the shoulders, that's okay. You can always push your hands down at the back instead. Okay, feet together. Last standing pose is a really good one for the hips. This is our pyramid pose. So it starts not unlike our warrior pose, except instead of having a bend in the knee, we're keeping the legs straight this time. So back of your mat again, right leg slightly out to the side. Now this isn't as big of a lunge because it is going to be more of an intense stretch. So we're just going to bring our hips to the front again, but I want you to think about, since my left leg is forward, I want to pull my left hip back, push my right hip forward. So thinking about doing that before we do anything else. Hands behind your back, keep your back straight, hinging at the hip, leaning forward. So really think about balancing out those hips. Left hip back, right hip forward. If you want to enhance the stretch, bring the fingertips down to that front leg. Remember, we're keeping everything straight. Alright, slowly coming back up. We'll swap the feet over, so bring that right foot forward, left foot back. Make sure when you put your left foot back that it is out on an angle slightly. Right, hips, front leg, pull the right hip back, push the left hip forward. Hands behind your back, legs are straight, hinging forward from the hips. So enhance the stretch. Keep reaching forward. If you're going to keep reaching forward, keep those legs straight. Goal is flat hands next to your foot. I'm not quite there yet. Come out of that one, slowly coming up. And relax. Okay, let's come down onto our mats again. So the next couple of stretches we're going to do are taken from our lotus sequence. So at the end of our classes sometimes we'll do a sequence of stretches to help us get into a half or full lotus position. These two are particularly beneficial for you guys. So we're going to open the hips, increase our hip movement and mobility. We're going to work on tight glutes. We're going to work on tight glutes, stretching the hammies, and it might be difficult to get into, but the more you practice these couple of stretches, the easier they will get. So the first one is a leg cradle. So sitting on your sitting bones, so if you need to pull your butt cheeks apart a little bit, that's okay. Let's start with our right leg. That's left. Let's start with our left leg. Bring it up, rest it on your right thigh. So what I'm going to do now is put my foot in the crook of my elbow, and then if you can put your knee in the crook of your other elbow, that's great. I can't do that, you might not be able to do that, so I'm just going to hold on to my knee. I'm going to sit upright, so I'm bringing the chest up, the leg up nice and straight across my chest, and I'm going to rock from side to side. Need to readjust. There we go, that's better. So I readjusted because I was putting a little bit of strain on my ankle joint. Now my foot's nice and free. So my right leg is staying flat on the ground. I'm really getting into the outside of the hip and glute with my left leg. If you can't put your foot in the crook of your elbow, you can just hold on to your knee and your foot. Totally fine. Just bring them up and keep them straight across, so they're not on an angle. As you can. Now, I'm gonna have to extend this one, holding your arm in this position, keeping that leg straight. You're gonna lie back and rest in this leg cradle position. As you can see, my base leg is quite high up off the ground, even though my heel is still touching, and that just means I'm a little bit tight. You don't have to do this extension, but you can if you want to. Otherwise, let's swap to the other leg. Left leg out in front this time, right leg up and over. Now, just from sitting in this position, I can tell I'm not going to get my foot to my elbow. That's okay. I'm just going to hold the foot and the knee, up they come, and rocking side to side. Remember, if you can't do a pose first try, come to the point. Like, these are to help you do things. You're not supposed to be able to do them perfectly. This one's a lot tighter. I'm nowhere near my chest. Now if you want to, head into that lying extension now. Otherwise, coming back down. Cool, so that's a leg cradle. Okay, the next one is not very glamorous looking. It is called knee drops. So this is going to open your hip and it is going to increase movement and mobility in your hips. So, give yourself a bit of space. Hands behind you. Feet maybe just a little wider than hip width apart, because what you need to be able to do is going from side to side. I'm putting the outside of one knee and the inside of the other onto the ground and then swapping sides. Now you will find that your butt will shuffle around. You might go forward, you might go backwards. Doesn't matter. If you need to pick up and readjust, that's fine. But I want you to make sure you're touching the inside and outside of each knee to the ground, so you're not cheating yourself. With a half stretch, touch the ground. Drop it all the way. So we're getting outside and inside of the hips simultaneously. Told you, glamorous. You see more people doing this on Instagram, I don't know. Alright, and do as many of those as you want. I used to make the yoga club boys do 100 at a time. I'm not going to make you do 100. If you want to, that's fine. Okay, the next pose we're going to do is bow pose, and not unlike our dancer pose, this one actually targets the chest as well. So we're getting the chest, the hip flexors, and we're opening up the thoracic spine all at the same time. There are a couple of variations, so you can try full bow if you want to. Full bow can be quite tricky, especially if you haven't tried it before. So you can also do one side at a time. Totally up to you. Please don't hurt yourself. Listen to your body. If something doesn't feel good, or if you're struggling to hold it, that's a pretty surefire sign that you need to take it back a step. So coming onto your mats on your belly, half bow, one side at a time. I'm going to reach back, hold onto my back foot with my hand, and then I'm going to push my foot into my hand. This is going to instantly open up the chest, engaging the quad, making that window again. Won't be as big a window. If you want to go into a full bow, this might not be glamorous either. One side's always going to be tighter than the other. Oh, there we go. And push. This will push you up into your lower abdomen. As soon as you start pushing your feet back, knees together, open up the chest. Only hold it for as long as it's comfortable. Don't force your body to do anything that it's not ready to do. So we're going to repeat that on either side, or if you want to give full bow a go, do that now. I'm going to get ready for the next pose. Bow is a good stretch, but it will take it out of you. Some people can naturally sit in that pose quite comfortably. I'm not one of you. Everyone's going to have their different strengths. Alright, last couple of poses. This one's going to open up the chest, stretch the arms and the shoulder, and stretch the lower back. Alright, lying back, knees up, arms out at shoulder height. Bring the knees to the right hand side, drop them down, and look over your left shoulder. Knees back to centre, this time bringing them to the left side and looking over your right shoulder. Alright, coming back to centre, slowly sitting up in your own time. Okay, the last pose that we're going to do today, I'm going to leave you in this pose, is legs up the wall. This is a really good restorative pose. It increases your circulation, can relieve any tension in your lower back, and it gently stretches through your hamstrings and your lower back, as well as being like super relaxing to stay in. So I'll say goodbye to you now. Thank you for joining me for this very special uplifted session of Virtual Yoga Club, and spend some time in this position and just chill out and relax, and let me know how you found today's session. So to get into legs up the wall, we're going to bring our hips nice and close to the wall, then I'm going to lie down, rolling into that position, so my butt and my legs are in contact with the wall. So this is your basic legs up the wall. If you are more comfortable with your hips open, you can bring your feet down and open into that bound angle pose. Totally up to you. which one you want to choose. And this is where I'm going to leave you.